All right. How's it going? This is your man, Sir-Earl, coming at you again another week, another podcast. Can't believe we're on episode 79. Today is Sunday, August 16th. We're halfway through August, the eighth month of the year. I cannot believe how quickly time is flying. We're almost at the end of the year. A lot of people are very happy to see 2020 in. With hope they have better luck in 2021. Me personally, I don't live my life by luck. I live my life in a way that I dictate the things that go on in my life. And actually, I think 2020 was a great year for me. It allowed me to take advantage of opportunities that was presenting itself because the rest of the world was running around like Chicken Little, like the sky is falling down. So, left a lot of great opportunities. There's a lot of business people that made a lot of money in this pandemic era because people were too afraid staying in their house locked in. They were too afraid to go out and take advantage of the opportunities in which it presented itself. Me personally, I was not. That's just the way that my mind works. Is that there's great opportunities that allow me to open up a second gym, which we're very close to getting done. And I am 100% convinced that if not for the opportunity of people not getting out starting businesses because of the downturn in the economy, I would have never gotten that opportunity. So I'm thankful for that. I get thanks for it every day. Things are not all bad. Time is going to happen. What good's going to go past whether we want it to or not. It doesn't stop for us. It doesn't stop for anything. August 16th is going to come around one time and one time only in our lifetime. Once you close your eyes and wake up, it's August 17th, and that's it. 16th is done. You can't go back and get it. That's why they say don't live in the past. There's nothing we can do about it. Once it's gone, it's gone. So I try to take advantage of the days ahead of me. When I wake up tomorrow morning, I'll get up and I'll go through my normal routine of preparing my mind to take advantage of the opportunities that are going to be presented to me that day. And I know that there's going to be opportunity in one way or another, if it's just to wake up and do what I love to do every day, and that's help people and continue to build an empire that leaves a legacy. So I kind of look at things a lot different than probably some other people. Um, I don't believe in hard times. I believe in looking at things in an optimistic, positive way. So, with that being said, today, I normally, when I started my podcast, I said there's certain things, certain issues that I wouldn't touch on. One of them being politics, race, sex, things like that. I kind of try to stay away from that. But in the year and a half in which I've had this podcast, I found that it's a voice that reaches a lot of people. We have a lot of people from around the world that downloads and listens to the podcast. And so my thing is, I do have opinions on certain things, and I believe in keeping those things real. We talk about it a lot amongst my clients and, my son, which he's just like me, and we discuss a lot of issues. So with that being said, the issue that I wanted to discuss today is, as everybody knows throughout the world, we have this Black Lives Matter movement going on. And my question is, do Black lives really matter to blacks? Not saying that there's not white supremacy, not saying that there's racism, not saying that there's not prejudice. We all have prejudice. Everybody, if you want to admit it or not, there's somebody that we don't like, tall, skinny, fat, black, white, gay, straight, whatever. Somebody that we look at and say, I don't like that. So that's a prejudice. We all have it. It's just human instinct. Where the problem becomes is that when you look at a person, in this instance, let's say blacks, you look at a person and you paint a broad brush, you take a broad brush and paint the stroke and say they're all like that. That's when you start to label and you start to profile and you start to treat people in a way based on one thing and one thing only, and that's the color of their skin. If we learn to base things on the character of that person, um, I know black people that are freaking assholes. I know white people that are assholes. I know police that some are great police officers. I have a lot of friends that's police officers, and I've ran into some police officers because of the way that I grew up with interactions with the police all the time, being on the other side, that are complete assholes, you know. But I don't judge all police officers by the few bad encounters that I've had. I judge it on the individual. I know a lot of good cops. A lot of them are good friends of mine. Um, and they really care about people and they really care about their job of doing it. And it's not an easy job. I mean, it's definitely a sacrifice. So what I wanted to say is that we go around or they go around as black people and say, give me this, give me that. Do you really believe that taking down a statue is going to change how people think about you in life? Um, I look at the LGBT community, and they have banded together and organized and got laws, same-sex marriages, and all those things. Which the same-sex marriages had a bigger purpose. It was to uh, be covered by insurance and have all the rights of a married couple. So it wasn't just that, hey, a man loves a man, a woman loves a woman, and they want to get married. It had a lot more things added to it than just the love part. But they banded together, they created strength with them among unity, and they got laws passed that benefited them. Same thing with immigrants. They work together to have things to benefit them. Okay, and there's strength in unity, and that is the one thing as blacks I've yet to see, and that is unity. We don't support each other. We do more harm to each other than any other race, white included, could ever do to us. But yet we want Ancient Mama off the shelf. We want statues torn down. We want TV shows. We want, you can't say niggas. You got to say the N word. All that means absolutely, positively nothing. I mean, everybody has their opinion, and I'm not saying my opinion is right. I'm just saying I do have an opinion. If we banded together and created strength and created unity, especially, we have the largest economic power of any group that there is. But you know what? We don't support each other's businesses. We come in, I've been in business for myself for 30 years. We come in and we want to hook up. You know what I mean? We want you to, oh, brother, take care of a brother. Well, when you walk into a white man's shop or a Jewish man's shop or a Chinese shop, you don't ask for that. You pay whatever it is that they're asking you to pay, and you're happy to pay it. But when you go into a black-owned business, you want to freaking hook up, we don't support each other. There's no unity there. We don't have each other's back. I remember a story that Monique, the comedian Monique, told about Netflix not wanting to pay her what she's worth. And in that conversation, she actually said this in an interview. Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry all said, you know what, you're right. You deserve more than they're offering you. But they're not going to come out and tell the studio heads, the people that are in charge, that, hey, unless you pay her what she's worth, we're not going to do business with you. Why? Because we have a self-sufficiency, selfish attitude, crabs in a barrel attitude, because you start to think, well, they may turn against me. They may start messing with my money. She even had a conversation with Steve Harvey where Steve Harvey was like, hey, I got bills I got to pay. I can't be out there risking my livelihood, even though I think you're right. I can't risk my livelihood. Well, guess what? With the power that those three, Oprah, Tyler, and Steve Harvey has, they could have made things happen because people don't want to risk losing their star power. But guess what they did? They left her out there hanging on her own, saying, "Hey, look, in private we support you, but when it comes to going to bat for you with the people that signs our checks, we're not going to do that." That right there is a classic tale of why, as blacks, does Black lives really matter? Are we willing to put everything on the line to support each other to create that unity? I've yet to see it, even in this day and age, amongst the poorest from the richest. If we make it good and we move from the hood like I did from Inglewood, you're known as a sellout. They have names for you for wanting to better yourself. Um, and when we move to a nice neighborhood, nicer than where we came from. And do we want little pisser starter and his homeboys coming through, bumping the music, throwing out garbage, breaking in houses, bringing down the property value? Hell no. We moved because that's what we were used to. But we're known as sellouts. So if we don't want to live next to you, what the hell makes you think somebody white, Jewish, Polish, or whatever wants to live next to you? They don't. And it ain't because they don't like you or because they're racist. It's because you come out there doing dumb shit. Let's stop hurting each other. Black on black crime is a real thing. Let's stop hurting each other. Let's stop supporting each other. Let's start respecting each other. And then other people will start to respect us. We don't respect ourselves, but yet we want to have other groups, ethnic groups, support and respect us. It's not going to happen. Um, to me, Jewish people are the most classic example. They rather die as a family in Holocaust than to submit themselves to selling each other out like we did as slaves. And that continues to this day. And that's why if you go into a Jewish community, Jewish people own gas stations. Jewish people own Dunkin' Donuts. Jewish people own restaurants. Jewish people keep their money in the Jewish community. We're not going to do that. We're going to take our money. We're going to take it to the Koreans. We're going to buy weave. We're going to buy Jordans. And our priorities in spending is all fucked up anyway. So we're not investing to create wealth. We're making wealth for other people. And then, if you listen to our radio stations, we get our own little scams going. Hey, invest in this and invest in that. Why? Because we're trying to take advantage of our own people. Me starting a personal training business was about trying to find health. They're going around protesting. It's this inequality that more black people are dying from coronavirus than anything. Why the hell do you think that is? We don't take care of ourselves. We don't work out. We don't eat right. You could tell a person he's about to die if he continues with his diet. And he will never change his eating. He will still eat polar sausages and greens and hot sauce and all this other nigga shit. And yeah, I said nigga shit. As we came up as slaves, we had no choice in what we ate. We had to eat what Master gave us. We have a choice now, but we're still making the same choices to have a diet that gives us high blood pressure and diabetes and sickness. The reason that the coronavirus, and I learned this from a doctor that was treating coronavirus patients, if you didn't see it, go online on YouTube and look up the Dr. Rita interview. She's a doctor that treated this. We were dying at an alarming rate because we're sicker. Our health is poorer than any other race because of our fucking diets. You go sit down at a basketball game and you see this overweight fat kid, 7 years old, weighing damn near 200 pounds, eating nachos because his fat mom and daddy gave it to him. But we want to blame something for that. We want to blame the system because more blacks were dying. Well, more blacks were dying because they were unhealthy to begin with. That's the ones that it was killing. Um, let's stop blaming other people for our problems, and let's start looking at ourselves and correcting our problems, and then respecting ourselves, supporting ourselves, building the power and unity through togetherness instead of the crabs in the barrel mentality. And maybe other people, white people, Jewish people, whatever, will start looking at us different. We have more spending power than any other race, but we don't exercise it. We allow, they know every time election year comes around, they can promise us the moon and give us nothing, and we're still going to be content and vote on the next person that promises us they're going to do something for black people, because we're always waiting on a goddamn handout. Let's start creating our own opportunities. Let's start supporting each other, and let's build that unity and economic power, and then you'll start to see them treat you different. It happened with the LGBT. It happened with immigrants. It happened with a lot of other ethnic groups, but we have still yet to do it because we're waiting on a goddamn handout. If they tell us, well, yeah, we'll take down the statue, we're happy with that. What about giving us an opportunity to be approved for loans at a better rate? And let's start our own businesses. Let's start talking to each other instead of having so much goddamn pride and ego, and finding out how to build our own communities and our own businesses, and how we learn to support each other. And then I guarantee you will start to see a change in how America treats you. You cannot continue to ask for things other than opportunity. Stop asking for fucking handouts. When the stimulus checks coming out? How much more unemployment are they going to give us? When are you going to stop asking for handouts and start doing things yourself? Take advantage of the opportunities that are created, and stick together. Then you'll start finding things come to you differently. So throughout all this, I asked the question, does Black lives really matter? Does it matter enough to stop the dumb shit? Somebody gets shot on the south side, we loot downtown. Does Black lives really matter? If it does, let's start acting like it matters to each other first before we ask anybody else to treat us differently. Why don't we start treating ourselves better? Why don't we start respecting each other? Why don't we start supporting each other's businesses? And then you will find the answer to that question, which I have, is, does Black lives really, really matter? Or is it just some shit that we say and paint on walls and paint on streets, but we don't act it? We don't put anything behind it other than the weak words that we spit out to each other. Let's start acting like they really do matter, and let's start going about supporting and respecting each other, and then you will see if Black lives really matter. Until next week, this is your man, Sir-Earl. I'm out of here. Peace.